Memories of a 5-year-old should have been tainted by time, but you could not help but remember how you clutched Eraserhead's scarf. As All Might came out of the house hours later, they talked with one another, and you were too scared that he took you away again to the house that your fingers turned white from how hard you were holding on to that scarf. You remembered bits and pieces of conversations, how Endeavor was willing to give your full custody to another family since he didn't want that event to taint his reputation and affect other family members. Eraserhead was angry the whole time. He didn't raise his voice, though, in your presence. He was strongly determined to open a legal case against him, but All Might told him all the other children in the household and Ray were apparently fine with Endeavor, and nobody would want to press charges. And given Endeavor's reputation, there was a chance he would get away with this, and you would be again turned back to his house. With that, your body started trembling, and you didn't see Aizawa pointing at you to All Might as he lowered his voice.
"She is not going back," he said almost too confidently. You felt his hand gently placed on your ear so you can't hear the rest of the conversation, but still you could pick up the words. Something about the best option for you was to be handed to authorities so they could find you a new home. Aizawa shook his head and momentarily shifted to look at you. He moved his hand from your ear. "What is your name, little one?" he asked, and you blinked. You didn't want to tell him your name. That name was the one your father always yelled, and you could not repeat it. It was too painful. In your 5-year-old mind, you were afraid that if that man was going to call you by the name, it was going to be nothing but yelling again. He smiled at you, though, and it was the first time you saw anyone smiling at you. For some reason, he seemed to understand, so he hummed to himself. "How about we call you Nina for now?" he asked, and you didn't know how he came up with that name, but that was way better than the name your father gave you, so you slowly nodded. "Nina, you know All Might, right?" he asked, and you looked at the huge man looking at you with such a big smile, and that was the second time you saw someone smiling, but you preferred the gentleness of Aizawa, so you turned your gaze back to him. "He says, I am here, all the time," you said in a low voice as All Might flexed his muscle, thinking it might make you laugh, but instead you shook your head. "But he never was," you completed. The truth was, you never saw yourself befitting for saving. You were so broken, so scarred, that you thought it was normal to be treated the way Endeavor treated you when someone doesn't have a quirk, and probably All Might would only save people who had one. But Aizawa was different. He didn't say, "I am here," and yet, clutching his white scarf, you felt like that tired, black-haired, thin man was the one that was there for you, not All Might. "Nina-chan, do you like to go to a new home?" All Might asked, going with the name Aizawa picked for you. He was loud, though, which made you hide your face into Aizawa's scarf again. Aizawa frowned. He should pay for what he did to her. All Might remained quiet, looking at you hiding. "We should first think what is best for her. I can put words so we can find her a new home soon." "Nobody wants a quirkless," you said, still hiding. "You know what my quirk is, little one?" Aizawa asked. "Your eyes turn red," you said, and Aizawa smiled again, which made you look up at him. "When it turns red, I make people quirkless. So you see, little one, people don't often like me because they hate not having a quirk. But you can be much more when you don't have a quirk because there is no way I can stop you," he said, which made your eyes light up. Because you just remembered that your father could not use his fire when Aizawa's eyes turned red. So you see, little one, how your father was powerless when he had no quirk, because he lost something that he thought he had. When I look at you, if my eyes turn red, if I try and try, you can still beat me because I can't take anything from you, he said. And for some reason, that change of the conversation made your body more at ease. "But he is still big," you argued. "But you see, Eraserhead stopped him, right?" All Might added. Your eyes shifted between them. "He can't hurt you anymore," Aizawa said, and there was something strong in his tone, stronger than all the yelling and all the shouting Endeavor ever subjected you to. And you felt the warmth running into your body, and you felt suddenly too tired. The wave of assurance hit your body. You were always on alert mode that now, when your body relaxed a bit, you felt the pressure for you to stay alert lifted. You yawned and rested your head on Aizawa's chest. You didn't hear the rest of the conversation as you drifted away. "We can take her to the facility for a while. I make calls," All Might said, picking up his phone, but Aizawa shook his head. "The last thing she can tolerate is to stay in a facility until someone chooses her, and..."
He didn't complete his sentence, but both of them knew a quirkless child had slight chance to be picked among others. Even with that, Aizawa could not be sure if someone treated you differently.
So what are we going to do? I know few people who can take her in. My old mentor, All Might said, but Aizawa cut him off. I take care of her for a while, until we find someone suitable. All Might blinked. You can't adopt a kid, Eraserhead. You are too young. You have a future ahead of you, and a child like her being abused for so long needs more attention than you think, he said. Aizawa looked at you curled up in his arms. I know, we think of something. Hisashi might know people, and he was more talking to himself. He could not let you go, not like that. Not when you were holding him so tight like your life depended on him, and he knew. He knew what it feels like when someone finally stands up for you. All Might tried to talk him out of it. Being the symbol of peace, he knew a hero's duty is to save people and help them, but not adopt every single person they rescue. But the more he talked with Aizawa, the less the words got through to him. I hate to admit it, but that was fun, really. Kirishima's voice snapped you out of the train of thoughts. The warm-up had ended, and the students were analyzing their strategy in the showroom. You shook your head, coming back to the present as you guided them to their class. Aizawa was half asleep in his yellow sleeping bag when you arrived with students as they found their seats. You handed Aizawa a fresh cup of coffee to wake him up. I can handle their first class if you want to rest a bit. You offered, even though you knew he felt too responsible toward those kids to let you replace him for even an hour. After all, he did the same for you one day. Your pager beeped 2 times as you were leaving the classroom. The device sent a message when there was a need for a hero in the vicinity, so you left the class to Aizawa to run into your asked mission as Aizawa murmured, "Don't get yourself in trouble," he said before you left. As you shrugged it off, "What can I say? Trouble is finding me." You smiled at him, catching a glimpse of his lip moving as you left, running to the location shown on the map.